In 2017, RBI published a landmark report on Indian household finance. This report discusses the behavior of Indians across investment, lending, and insurance. The report also further compares Indians' behavior with the other major countries of the world. In this video, I'm going to specifically talk about investments. Let's try and answer the question, where do Indians invest? Before we begin, I want to ask a simple question. Do you know which state in India invests the largest amount in gold as an asset class? Stay tuned till the end of the video to find that out. Let's get started. This report classifies the assets held by Indian households as the following. Real estate. It represents the commercial and residential buildings or land. Gold. Under gold, we have jewelry, bullion, that is the gold bars, ornaments, and coins. Durable goods. So durable goods are comprised of transportation vehicles, livestock, poultry, agricultural machinery, and non-farm business equipments. Financial assets. Financial assets contain bank deposits, publicly traded shares, government securities, mutual funds, informal loan receivables. Retirement savings. So retirement savings contain pension accounts, provident funds, annuity certificates, life insurance accounts. Most of these assets are tangible assets, also known as the physical assets. They can be touched and felt. The rest of them are intangible assets, that is, they either exist in paper or digital form. The first big revelation was that Indians hold 95% of their assets in the physical form. What does this mean? For example, an individual with a net worth is rupees 100 holds 95 rupees in physical assets like real estate or gold, and only 5 rupees is invested in financial investments like stock market or mutual fund. Suppose you're from someone in a metro city with a salary of 10 lakhs, you might find it very difficult to relate. That's because you fall under top 1%. But majority of the Indian households exhibit this behavior of their love towards physical assets. If we dive a little deeper, we realize that real estate dominates by a vast margin. It occupies 77% of Indians' balance sheet. As Indians, we are taught to save our money through generations, but it looks like the money goes predominantly into physical assets. Though physical assets have less volatility than financial assets like mutual funds and stock markets, their long-term returns barely beat the inflation in most cases. In addition to this, liquidity is a huge problem, especially in the case of real estate. But is this overarching behavior and love for physical assets only common in India? The report compares the asset classes held by citizens across different countries, and it gets more interesting. The report compares the assets across these 7 countries. In this graph, the x-axis plots various countries and the y-axis denotes the percentage of asset held by the households in corresponding countries. Let's get started. First is the real estate. Indians' love for real estate beats the other countries by a considerable margin. And actually China comes second. The second asset class that we're going to see is durable goods. Interestingly, Indians have the least allocation in durable goods compared to others. And surprisingly, Thailand tops the chart. And I would really want to know what is the reason behind this behavior, and I'll probably try to dig in some other time. The third asset class is the gold. Gold is the most interesting data point here. In no other country other than India, gold made it to the household balance sheet. Okay, now let's come to the next one, which is financial assets. Indians have the least allocation in financial assets, with Thailand coming close to it. And we have the retirement accounts. Indians have lesser percentage of investments going into retirement accounts compared to other developed countries. But please mind that this graph was recreated to scale from the report, as the exact percentages across these different countries were not available in the report. I get what you're thinking. India is a rich and diverse nation with different states, languages, and culture. How would it be fair to group them all under one bucket called India? That's why I did a little bit more digging into the report to figure out the state-wise differences in the asset allocation, and I tried visualizing them. Let's now get deeper into how different states allocate assets inside their population. Let's look at the state-wise allocation starting with real estate. Bihar tops the chart. On average, the state population holds almost 90.5% of their money as real estates, which includes lands, residential properties, and commercial properties. The northern part of the country seems to prefer real estate to others. When it comes to the lower real estate investments, Andaman comes the last, with Sikkim, Tamil Nadu, Goa, and Andhra Pradesh following them. The next one, which is gold. Did you guess the answer to the question that I had asked earlier? Most of you must have imagined to be a South Indian state, and yes, it's Tamil Nadu that just loves gold. Southern states tops the list. Northeastern states seem to prefer gold less in their households. I wonder if there's a cultural reason for this. If you're from one of these states, please leave a comment and I would love to know more about it. Financial assets. Sikkim tops the chart, followed by Arunachal Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and Assam. Bihar has the least allocation of financial assets, followed by Rajasthan, Nagaland, Manipur, and UP. You could see a huge correlation between states which has higher allocation of real estate tend to have lower allocation in financial assets. So it's a zero-sum game. You have 100 rupees and you either decide to put it in a real estate or in a stock market or a mutual fund. Finally, retirement. Let's look at which of the Indian states plan for the long term for retirement. It's Andaman and Nicobar Islands, followed by Sikkim, Nagaland, Goa, and Mizoram. I'm very impressed by these numbers and visualization. Rarely do we talk about these numbers and their importance. In bottom states, we have Bihar, followed by Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh. The interesting part is that even geographically adjacent states like Bihar and Sikkim exhibit completely different financial behavior from one another. The culture probably could play a major role in deciding where would the population invest their money in. So, what does this mean for India? One of the major things is Indians need to start diversifying beyond physical assets like real estate and gold and start investing in financial instruments such as stock markets and mutual funds. I believe this is where the fintechs of the India will be able to make a massive difference in the economy through access and education. That's all I had for today. In another video, I will talk about the lending behavior of Indians, which is also discussed in this report. In fact, I've actually linked this report in the description below. If you're someone who's working in fintech, I would urge you to download and give it a read for yourself. This is my first video and I'm open to all sorts of comments and criticisms that will help me improve. Thank you. I'll see you in another video.